Hello, and welcome. Today, I'll be interviewing Dracocharizard. Now, I don't want to stick around too long, so we'll just get right into the video. But, like I said before, and I'll say it again, please do not go harass anybody who is mentioned in the video. I do not condone such actions, such as bullying and influence such a thing. So for that being said, let's get right into the video.
I say come see at the hotel. Fucking nigga.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Well, that's excellent to hear. Well, so far you have asked me to interview you about the event of Sonic93. But before we actually get to the topic of Sonic93, would you mind explaining us the origin story that you had with Sonic93?
Oh well, it's a rather interesting story. It all began back in 2014. I was browsing some Sonic-related videos on YouTube. I came across one that caught my interest called, I think it was a rant on the fans of Blaze the Cat. This was by Sonic93. When I watched it, I thought it was very informative. Because I do agree with, there were some things that she said that which I agree on like, how fans should be worshipping too much of a character, no matter how good or bad the character is. And I left a comment giving my opinions, and that's how my friendship with Sonic93 began.
So,
And
your origin story came from a comment that you posted on Sonic93 on one of her videos, and then she noticed that I'm guessing that eventually, from time to time, that you keep commenting, and then eventually she noticed you, and you two became friends eventually, correct?
yes, of course. At the same time, I also became friends with her former friend Amy Chan. Since this was a video that was done both by them.
I see. Well, now that we got to the origin story, let us dig through the topic, which is basically the entire scenario of Sonic93 when she brought back this entire dilemma.
Oh yes, the dilemma regarding the whole drama with Melodysugarplum.
In the beginning, that you decided to volunteer for Sonic93 to participate in the drama that happened a year ago.
Yeah.
And decided to, I guess, start something new, and then wanted to assist Sonic93 to redeem herself. What was your first intention when you wanted to help Sonic93? Like, do you know like what you're getting yourself into? Are you aware that like things weren't really going well after the Alduin? But let's talk about the first video that like all four of you collaborated with each other and then started the entire thing.
Yeah.
So what was your first intention when you wanted to do that?
Well, what I wanted to do was I have seen the video that she Alduin's video, and also the video that she herself deleted, and it was it was about Melodysugarplum and how she claims herself to be a silver fangirl, yet has more negative things to say about her favorite character than positives. And while I know that she is free to voice her opinion on what she likes and dislikes about silver, I thought there were some points that she made that were a little off. So I wanted to to debunk those points. And and of course I you know, didn't realize that's I mean, I was trying to give my my honest thoughts, and try to find some valid points. Yet yeah, at the same time, I mean, I know that Sonic93 does take take things a bit too much at heart when whenever someone voices some a negative opinion about Silver.
Well, let's just go over to the things. So you helped Sonic93 on the first video, which is Melodysugarplum.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was a DeviantArt poster that I'm guessing that just posts his art and talks about Silver the Hedgehog, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was from what I remember, Mel, what she showed me was a comment that Melodysugarplum left on DeviantArt.
Mm-hmm.
And some things I mean I thought she took she took some of Silver's flaws and too seriously and exaggerated them, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on how they are a little off.
Of course, but of course back then, like it was very different back then. Like in today's standards, we all know that Melody is like not very innocent as in now, but back then that she was just expressing her feelings towards Silver the Hedgehog.
And of course, I've been hearing about how she's being how she has been telling other artists on DeviantArt to stop drawing pictures of Silver, and for some reason she wanted she wanted Sega to stop using him and just write him off completely from the Sonic series. And I mean, I thought to myself, Jay, that's a little too extreme.
Yes, and that's in today's standards, of course. That we all know that Sonic93 pointed out that Melody is no longer like sane, but of course the real issue that lies here is that Sonic93 tried to use that as a panacea for her past actions, which does not function correctly, because again, this happened a year ago during the time where this person was completely different and had a different opinion towards Silver the Hedgehog. Opinions change over time, especially throughout a year, and it turns out that in her third video is that Melodysugarplum decided to grow this hatred when Melody found out that more information about Silver. So she grew to hatred about Silver when Melody got to know Silver a lot more, such as backstory, bios, and so on and so forth. Anything that's informative for Silver.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think Silver is a perfect character. I mean, he is just as flawed as every other character, but I mean, I don't think anybody should completely hate a character, but can express what are the things that they find off-putting a bit about him or her.
Well, I mean, Silver in general is like again, like this character debuted on one of the worst Sonic games, and and of course it kind of had a bad reputation, especially towards Silver, since he was like one of, not only that it's his presentation that appeared in that game, it's just that it kind of just grabbed that chunk of information about him, of his traits, and then transfer it into future games, which again, I'm guessing that this was a bad move for Sega, because they didn't bother to try to at least make this character at least above decent.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on that. I mean, I know that. I mean, I understand that one of the one of the main aspects to the character of Silver is that he is he is naive and lacks critical thinking, and but it seems like as if Sega tried way too hard on those aspects, and not and not try to flesh him out a bit more to to show that there's more to him than just that.
Well, they could try, but unfortunately, it's not our decisions to make that type of choice. It's their right to do so. They own the character. However, it would be nice if we actually find a good version of Silver that that anybody can actually like, because so far as one have I seen, I mean, the reason why people like Silver, not because of the character itself, it's because of the memes that surrounds him.
Oh yes, definitely. The it's no use, the potly jokes and so on and so forth.
But other than this segue here, is that I'm guessing that, let me ask you, were you aware that Sonic93 was kind of like, did it ever show any red flags on any of the of anything on the first video? Any red flags that you were aware of?
Well, I do think that, I mean, I know she is very passionate about about Silver, but I do feel that she can be overreactive at times, and and is prone to emotional outbursts to things that she doesn't really like.
Is that her as a person, or is that her as like a persona that she uses?
I don't know for sure. I mean, because she seemed Sonic93 seemed like like a genuinely nice person who tries to understand people, and she took me in as a friend because she really liked how I'm this how I'm this sweet, shy, and very friendly person, as it kind of reminds her of of Sylvie.
All right. So let's move on to the next thing. Is that the second video that she posted, and it was about Alduin, apparently the real hypocrite. At least in her mind. But I'm guessing, what were your thoughts when you first watched this video at the time of your thought? Yes.
Well, I feel that that at first I thought Sonic93 was just was just trying to to make a rebuttal on Alduin's video, because I mean, I know Alduin was trying to get her points across on on the things that Sonic93 did that was pretty much wrong when she did her the video that started the whole drama. While she did try to get her points across, I mean, it did kind of come off as as mean spirited and harsh. I won't deny that.
So, I'm guessing that, yeah, it was mean spirited at first. Well, in Sonic93's video, but of course, the point is that the whole point of the video is that on Alduin's part is that to call out on Sonic93's very rude behavior, because she cyberbullied Melodysugarplum over a fictional character.
Not just cyberbullied, but she just screamed at the top of her lungs, and and was like.
I was also gonna say screaming at minors too, but
Yeah.
But of course this was during the time. But
Yeah.
of course, I'm guessing when I first saw this video of myself, I didn't have the same feeling as the first one. The first one was a bit iffy. Either it sticked or it didn't stick, and it was pretty much out of a person's perspective to see if they either say yes or no. It's a matter of perspective on the first video, either if you want to agree with it or not. The second video is a really big no for me, because I didn't have the same feeling. The reason why is that she is responding to an old video that that I had to go back, that the whole point of that video is to call out on Sonic93's behavior of screwing at a minor and cyberbullying Melodysugarplum over a fictional character just by having a different opinion.
Yeah.
Now, from that being said, was Sonic93 aware, like, at all? Like, did any of you even question about this video?
Well, we didn't at first. We just thought that this is something that she needed to do in order to in order to end this whole drama and move on.
Well, it seems that, of course, like, the whole purpose of her doing this this entire mini rant series is that to give herself closure.
Yeah, that's how it is according to what it was according to her.
But the thing is that that's not how closures should be received to one's desire. And the reason why is because the way how she's doing it, she's trying to take revenge on what happened a year ago during the time that happened. And I'm saying this is because it's unethical to do such a thing. Like, of course, most people won't mind that she's bringing up old drama. However, it still kind of hits the nail on the coffin because, again, like, who brings up a year-old drama that has been settled months ago during that apology, which we'll get to in a moment. But here, again, I didn't feel the same way on this video because, again, she was responding to Alduin's video that was a year ago. But again, the whole point of it was to call out on her behavior at screwing at minors and cyberbullying. This does not receive well. It had so many dislikes to the point where she deleted the video over an error, a 1 second error, and then re-uploaded it, and that pissed the community off even more than it already is. And this is what started a flame war. Well, not a flame war, a flame hurricane, I like to call it, because no one's really fighting each other. It's kind of like a big hurricane that's on fire, just literally going around destroying things.
It was basically a big storm.
A big storm that literally wrecked everything. Of course, this video got so much attention from the commentary community to the ranting community. People were reacting to this video, and so far it was like that this will not end well. And that's what the first thing that popped into my mind is that this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
So no, go ahead.
Because the one of the biggest problems with her video where she was covering Alduin was that she on multiple times has indirectly threw Amy Chan under the bus. Just saying some horrible things about her, and just calling her a bad friend, and that she talked her and so-called talked down to her like as if she did something wrong, which really she did.
Well, I really don't understand the hate. Again, we like I said this so many times, is that we don't know the actual full story of what actually happened. I mean, I don't know if this was settled in text or in a call. I mean, I have to ask Amy Chan, like, to tell her, like, to tell me to, like, what really happened in my perspective, because again, I'm hearing one side of the story. I already heard Sonic93's side. I want to hear from Amy Chan's side. I am willing to do that in the future. However, during the time, it was unnecessary. And the reason the reason why I say it's unnecessary because I don't want to bring Amy Chan into the drama at the time that she was trying to ignore it or move on from this entire thing, because apparently it did have something to do with her, but she had nothing to be involved in. She was just being mentioned in a very negative way.
Yeah.
So after that, Sonic93 decided. Oh no, it was actually Wildpawz who asked the question of if she gets to ask Sonic93 a few questions, so we don't have to, like, take one side of information and then try to just stick with that. I agree to this, and as far as I know, I was the first one to enter the call with Sonic93. It took me 2 to 3 hours to get an actual call with her. And of course, we discussed the issues and the problems. Of course, I was being honest and nice at the same time, so I wasn't very blunt as others could or may have not been. After that, a few hours later, I got on a call with her again and with Wildpawz, and then we had a conversation. Our conversation went fine and it went smooth. Of course, there were some moments in there, but of course, Wildpawz and myself try our best to smoothen the wood.
Yeah.
And then I started to say, maybe I should give Sonic93 a chance, because again, like, I don't want to take one source from information throughout the entire scenario, because, like, again, Ghosty is not really the main guy to go to when it comes to things like these, because of course, if you already know, or if you should have known, is that he didn't really respond to Sonic93 in the most mature way as possible. It's very clear on his third or second video on Sonic93 is that, he tried to respond to Sonic93, didn't work.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle it. So
yeah.
So after that, I decided to take my time and analyze Sonic93.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to analyze Sonic93 for quite a while to determine what type of person she is. After the second call with Wildpawz, and then with her and Wildpawz, and then I decided to speak to Sonic93 directly to her for a couple of times. I wanted to help her in the most genuine way as possible. Not help her by the drama, but help her as a person,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Sonic93 is definitely someone who needed who has a lot of growing up to do, so to speak. I mean, because she pretty much has shown her true colors as someone who is very spiteful and vindictive if anyone does something that strongly displaces her. You've pretty much heard about what the things that went down with me and Mene when we talked to BoxOvFox.
Of course, but we'll get to that in a moment. But of course, in that scenario, there was an event that that took place behind the scenes. Is that Dumbsville was having this information that Sonic93 is going to do a video on him. Of course, this is something that it was his fault for not, being aware that Sonic93 was making a video on him. That was of course, that was his fault for anybody who was catching up for the entire thing, or was actually paying attention. So, and of course, there are some things that I'm not gonna say that Dumbsville is like completely like I guess you can say gold on this one. It's more of a silver, because he did do things wrong, but Sonic93 did things even much more than him. The thing is that Dumbsville was not, trying his best to focus on this. Of course, that still does not excuse him for the absence of important information that he should have known. Now, this was a event that happened off screen. So someone told Dumbsville that there was information that was being dug up by Sonic93. I asked Sonic93 at the time, is this true? Or are you taking fake information from Dumbsville and then using it as your gain? She said, no, there is a private recording that we had in December. The private call was Dumbsville, Sonic93, and with Dumbsville, there was a person named Creepy. There were two other people, Hunter, and I forgot who was the other person. But they were just there to keep an eye on the party, and just in case of something bad were to happen. They spoke about the entire issues, and of course, at the end, Sonic93 was getting a little emotional, but we'll get to that. Well, the whole point is that this recording was not, it was not in YouTube platform. It was never released on YouTube platform. I don't know if it's still private or not, but if it is, that's a shame, because no one knows the specific story. However, that even if it wasn't private, it's still not on YouTube. So what I did is that I did the interview with Dumbsville to ask him what happened during that time in December, and to see, and to also check if he was okay. And then of course Sonic93 took this as an offense. I tried to explain to myself, like, hey, this is not what you think. This is basically trying to clear up the information that you had with Dumbsville, and to say that, hey, listen, there were some fake information that people were plastering on you. People were saying that you're taking fake information from Dumbsville. I proved that to be false. Just be aware of that. And then she wasn't aware. She didn't even watch my interview. After that, we cut ties. Me and Sonic93, we cut ties for me trying to help her. Sounds similar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, because she has done that with
Amy-chan.
She has, yeah, with Amy-chan, and also did the same with Dumbsville as well. That it was leaked the text conversation that she had with him between them, and Dumbsville was just shocked and wanted to ask why. And wanted to ask her why she was doing this, and when it became clear that she isn't willing to listen, and continues to blame him, Dumbsville decided that it was just pointless to continue on being friends with her.
Well, of course, that it matters not. I mean, to me, it's like, while it is a shame for me to, like, Sonic93 is no longer speaking to me, but I did try my best to help her. And hopefully that my assistance and my hospitality manages to, I guess, help her in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I did do an interview with Sonic93. Don't get me wrong. I did the interview with Dumbsville, and I did the interview with Sonic93. The interview with Sonic93 didn't go well. It didn't go well. And for her safety, I decided not to do the interview, because she said very mean things, well, very savage things, to be honest. In my ears, I never heard such wording towards people who are involved with this.
It doesn't surprise me really, because Super Sprite has shared with me about some on how she was saying mean things about me after she and I cut ties, and I even found out more that that's from Super Sprite, that she had been behind my back to him.
Well, that is to be expected after you left someone. No,
this was even before she and I cut ties.
Well, that's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt so blindsided, because I never imagined that somebody who I once considered my friend say a bunch of mean and nasty things about me. I mean, she knows all too well of what kind of person I am, yet thinks that there's something wrong with me.
Even though that you two are no longer friends, in a way that I'm guessing that did you improve as a person after that?
Yeah, I've grown much wiser from the experience, and I felt more safe, and being able to be more true to myself around people who have who have supported me all the way through.
That's good to hear. Well, usually when life amps your difficulty, it presents us with a great opportunity to increase our strength of potential. But not only that, is that it also increases our ways of being a better person than the person who was before.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine as long as you realize what is really happening around you.
Agreed.
So, now that being said, I do not hold any ill will on Sonic93, because I did try the best of my abilities to help her. and I will be happy to speak to her again, if any possible way, because I am worried about her and her as a well-being. If she does not care for my hospitality, that's fine. I only ask to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Sonic93 either. I just wish that she will get better from this. I don't expect her and I will be able to, just to see each other, just to, to talk to each other again, because not knowing what kind of person she is. Pretty much, just feel that whatever she decides to do is entirely up to her.
Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to.
Yeah.
Now that being said, let's move on to the next thing. Is that, of course, the new scenario, which apparently the events that happen in DMs, which is basically you, Mene the Mene, and Sonic93. The two of you departed with Sonic93. Would you mind explaining to me what exactly happened?
Well, yeah, we were Many and I were we were in a group call with Nitro, a friend of his, and BoxOvFox, and we were just getting to know each other and having a good time. And then when we get to the matter of Sonic93, well, at the beginning, Minnie and I we tried to stick up for her. We tried to point out how despite her despite her having a short fuse, she is that she would be willing to listen to anyone when she's in the when she's in a good mood, and when and we were also talking about how we pretty much did not want any part on on getting involved in future commentaries, because I felt that ranting is not really my kind of thing. I mean, I'm more for drawing and writing fan fictions. And I got to the point where where info I know Sonic93's opinions on on certain characters, but particularly Blaze the cat.
Mm-hmm.
While I mean I do respect that she feels that Blaze gets more credit than she deserves. Sometimes I feel that she kind of takes her dislike for Blaze a bit, to such extremes. I mean, like, I have, I have discovered back then a really big red flag with her, with her attitude towards Blaze, which was shown in Dylan's Dylan Thomas's video on her,
Mm-hmm.
where she made this community tab post of her reacting to a comic of Sonic 06.
Mm-hmm.
It was showing Silver being brought down to despair that he couldn't be able to defeat Mephiles, and Blaze was just trying to get him to calm down, and and assure him that there's always a solution to everything. Sonic93 only sees that as her being mean to Silver, and in response, she texted in all caps how she wanted to kill her in her sleep. I know that some may consider that she may consider that as a joke, and some might even say it as a joke, but I feel that's a bit, that's going a bit too far.
Well, I guess that yes, usually saying something like "I want to kill her in her sleep," it is going a bit too far, especially throughout the conversation between you, Sonic93, and meaning the Mene.
Mm-hmm.
But saying something like that is quite strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is quite strange, especially considering how this is a fictional character that she's yelling at.
I'm guessing that after the whole, well, actually, it still has. You still haven't explained what specifically happened during the time that.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Well, I was telling BoxOvFox and Nitro how sometimes I feel that Sonic93's dislike towards Blaze does tend to border on to to hatred at times, especially with those kind of remarks. And Mene thought of inviting Super Sprite into the DM call because at the back then he thought that he could trust him. And when Mene told Super Sprite about what was going on, Super Sprite left the call. And then not too long after, Mene and I received an invitation to a call at another DM. This time, but this time with just Sonic93 and Super Sprite. And when we got into the call, Sonic93 started yelling at us both. It was demanding to know what was going on and why we are talking to people like BoxOvFox, and she's been pressing me for questions on why do I think that she hates Blaze when according to her she doesn't. I was so scared with the way she was talking, and and that I found it very hard to say a word. And fortunately, we've been invited back into another DM back into the call with BoxOvFox and Nitro, and I was able to take that chance to say that I need to get sleep, because this was happening very early in the morning on my end. Needless to say, I didn't sleep very well.
All of this happened in a DM group. That Sonic93 got mad at you because you were speaking to BoxOvFox.
Yeah,
that's quite unethical. Very unethical. I mean, who?
Yeah.
It kind of raises the question of who is she to command others who gets to not speak to another person.
I know, right? And it gotten worse. When I returned on to my computer, I saw on Skype that she a message that she left on Skype that she wanted to have a one-on-one talk with me. And knowing that the mood that she is in, I thought to myself, no way am I going to get into a call with her, because she's just really going to tear me apart, and I won't have anybody to back me up. The least I could do was just leave her a message that I don't want to talk to her if she's going to be in a mood like that, and that's and that she has my every permission to hate me after that, but that's not good. But I'm not going to to have any hard feelings towards her, and only wish that she will get better. And I just and after leaving that message, I quickly I promptly blocked her, and I was about to do the same on Discord, only to find out that she's already unfriended me.
Well, how unfortunate. I'm guessing that in that scenario that you were too afraid that if you did speak to Sonic93, it would not go well, and you chose the right you chose the right you chose the right choice to not to speak to her for your own well-being, and that's completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, because she has yelled at me several times, as she admitted in a conversation she had with Mene. One time she yelled at me all because I drew a picture and uploaded it on DeviantArt without crediting her. This was just an idea this was just only a suggestion that she told me I could do. It was a picture of me of my Charizard Sona and Blaze kissing each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why I have to credit her when she doesn't own Blaze. I mean it was just only a suggestion, and I decided to go along with it.
That's quite strange. Yeah. That's very strange.
Yeah, indeed. And then the second time she yelled at me was she was sharing a Silver X Blaze a picture which parodies Aladdin, and I told her to stop that because I don't like the ship, and she knows that very well. And she got mad at me just telling me why I can't take a joke, and as a result, she wanted me and her to have a call together, and she wasn't very happy with me, and she was even more angry about how she learned from Super Sprite that I said that to him that Tails is more innocent than Silver. She thinks that I am judging Silver.
That's a lot of information to take through in my own mind. But I'm going to say this, is that in times like these, is that if someone is going to dictate of what you like and what you don't like, I think it's time to grow a thicker skin. Be more independent. With this, then you will face any challenge that comes in your way. Of course, it's not going to be as thick as many other people, but it's the best way to start.
Yeah.
After all, improvement is always key into growth. So now that being said, I'm guessing that in the aftermath, you became friends with BoxOvFox and others that helped you and guide you in the ways of your, will show you the errors of your ways, and then became a better person.
Yeah.
So
yeah, of course.
And of course, after that, you just decided to just put this all behind yourselves and start a new chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, we pretty much Mene and I and even Super Sprite are done with this whole Sonic93 drama, and we just want to tend to our own things, and and indulge ourselves in our likes and stuff.
Well, I am happy that while I do believe that meeting the Mene and you will improve very well, I am still having doubts with Super Sprite 65. Don't get me wrong, I understand that he left Sonic93, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that he has done some terrible things in Ghosty's server, such as recording people without consent.
Yeah, I mean, I know Super Sprite has done a lot of shady things. Well, he is trying to improve.
Trying to. But of course, again, it's up to me to determine if I'm going to forgive him or not. But after a while, I'm guessing that I do let people a chance to improve themselves. But of course, try not to. I always tell them try not to mess up again, because the next time I ain't gonna be nice.
Yeah, I know he has the. I know he has the power to change, and well, I wish I could say the same about Sonic93.
It does not take power to change. It takes will to change.
Definitely.
So, now that being said, let us move on to, of course, I'm guessing the Q&A and the questions that I have implemented in my mind to ask you.
Alright, no worries.
Alright, let's get started then. First question. What type of music do you like?
I like classical music and I like metal music.
Alright, next question. If you were to get a free t-shirt of any color, and it could only be one color, what color would it be?
It's quite interesting. I mean, because I like a variety of colors, but if I were to choose my main color, it will be black.
Interesting. And why black?
I just love the I just like the color black. It's a very mysterious color, so to speak. I mean, and some of my favorite animals, like the Black Panther, for example, is black.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it?
Yeah.
Very well. Next question. If you were to choose between, I'm guessing, an apple or an orange, which one would you pick?
I love oranges.
Okay. So you're more of a survivalist.
Survivalist? Never.
It's in my definition.
I never really associated oranges with surviving.
Well, it is food, and sometimes it feels like you're drinking something while eating something at the same time, but oranges will always have that survivability.
Fair enough.
Okay, next question. Do you prefer soda or water?
Definitely water.
Okay, I can understand that. Next question. How long have you been in the Sonic franchise, or the Sonic fandom in this case?
Well, I have to say I gotten into Sonic back in 1993, I believe. Because that was around the time when I had my first my very first console back in Christmas of 1992, which was the Sega Master System. I don't think many people might be familiar with that, because it's not as popular as the Nintendo Entertainment System, since they're both 8-bit consoles. And it was around 1993 when I was introduced to Sonic, and the 8-bit version of Sonic, of course. And I mean, maybe they may not be the original 16-bit version, even though I haven't played that until a couple of years later. And but I enjoyed the game nonetheless, and Sonic has become one of my favorite video game characters. And as time went on, and as more Sonic games were coming out, and I played more of them, and Sonic has become one of my main favorite games to play. And I never knew that Sonic had a fandom until I had such a fandom until I was got exposed to DeviantArt, where I learned about the furry fandom, which was around 2008, I believe. And I've learned that that Sonic has a long-standing community that has been around for a couple of decades already.
Yes, it has. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, here's an interesting one, and this is something in my part. If you're willing to forgive Sonic93, would you actually accept her apology if she ever decides to change?
Well, I would definitely accept her apology if she decides to change, but it will take me some time to really consider being in touch with her again, like old times.
So you will forgive her, but trust will take time.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Dumbsville had the same idea too. So the next question: If you ever became a voice actor, what character would you voice act? In media.
In media. If I were to be a voice actor, I would have liked to do Red from Pokemon Origins.
I can understand that. I don't know if he does have a voice or not.
Yes, he does. He's voiced by voice actor Bryce Papenbrook. Who I consider.
I'm guessing that's the English dub, correct?
Yeah, the English dub of Pokemon Origins. Yeah, and I've considered him as a voice actor to do my character because I have a fanfic series in the works, and I have a pipe dream that if it ever if it ever got so popular and caught on, it could possibly spawn an anime series, and if it gets dubbed into, if it gets like an English dub or something, I would like him to do my character because I just think he has that perfect voice for my Charizard character.
And this is a very serious one. Do you have a still mind?
A still mind? What do you mean exactly?
Well, when I can put it into a still mind as a definition is when a person literally ignores every negativity around them, including annoying noises that could irritate them, anything that would possibly harm their feelings, their emotions, their care, their love. Basically, they put things into a halt and make sure that they don't break. That is a still mind.
Okay.
So the question I'm going to ask you again is that, do you have a still mind?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so.
And why you don't have a still mind?
I mean, because I do, feel affected by things that annoy me or things that I don't like, that that it's hard for me to ignore them.
Let me ask you this other question. Do you get annoyed by the littlest things?
Sometimes.
Well, I'm glad that you are aware that you don't have a still mind. But there is a possibility that you could achieve such a attribute.
Yeah.
It takes time and patience. Okay, this next question. And this is a very interesting one. Do you prefer pizza with pineapple on it?
No.
Excuse me? And why do you think that pineapple in pizza seems very odd to you? Would you mind explaining?
I just don't see how. I find that's something sweet and something savory mixed together doesn't really make a good taste, in my opinion.
It's every villain's favorite pizza.
Well, more power to you.
The power is all mine. Now, this next question, and this is kind of a, how do you say, It's kind of an interesting one because it involves a friend of mine. Do you believe that Jane has improved?
Oh yeah, oh yes, I've gotten to know Jane, and she she's definitely a far cry from what she used to be back when she used to be back when she used to go under the name Akai Dahlia.
Good to hear. Now, here's another question. If you decided to draw with a pen and you can't make any more mistakes, such as a misline, would you literally throw away the paper altogether and start anew?
Yeah, cause I want to. I mean, I want to, I want my, my pics to be to look, to be of good quality.
Okay, so you're someone like me. Here's an interesting one. Have you ever decided to, I guess, one day try something new but out of the ordinary? Such as, for example, you're an artist, right? What if one day you decided to be, I guess, an animator?
Well, if uh, if I know how to animate, I would probably give it a try.
Well, that's good to know because it never hurts to try something new.
Yeah.
All right, just a couple more questions and we'll be done.
Okie dokie.
Here's a very extraordinary question. If you draw a picture, like let's just say an apple, and people find this apple very strange the way how you draw it, how would you react to it?
Well, um, I would, try to explain why I draw the apple that way.
Okay, a very solid answer. Here's another question. What makes you, I guess, irritated when it comes to art?
I would say what irritates me is if you have an idea, but you just don't know how to convey it. Yeah, like I mean, and sometimes when you're trying to draw, it doesn't come out how you want it, and as a result, you end up with the artist's block.
This is why Control Z is a thing.
Yeah.
Get it? Because Control Z is redo. Here's another question. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
A night owl.
Night owl. So you so you like to stay up at night when do your hobbies?
Oh yes, most definitely. I mean, I don't find myself waking up in the morning until much later.
And I guess I would not blame you. I mean, I had to wake up early for this interview. I should be sleeping right now, but of course I have to do what I need to do.
Yeah. I know you had to do this because of the because of the differences in our time zones.
True, but of course I respect people's time zones, and I will do whatever I will literally do whatever I can to help one's individual need.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just 5 more questions and we'll be done.
All right.
Here's a very interesting question. Do you prefer the heat or the cold?
Oh, I love the cold more than the hate, honestly, which is ironic considering that I'm a Charizard.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer. Normally, I like the heat rather than the cold because I don't like to feel cold. But I can understand that. Let's see. Here's another question. If you ever willing to, I guess, say something that a friend will tell you to say, like let's just say, like the N word, would you actually say it?
No. I mean,
good. You're smart. You're smarter than that. Thank you.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, that's just I don't like I don't like those kind of those kind of things.
Of course, But of course, this is a test that to see if you were actually willing to do so, and I just figured out that you're smarter than that. Next question: Do you prefer dogs or cats?
I'm 100% a cat person. I mean, it's pretty obvious by my avatar. I've always daydreamed of having a cat.
You're not one of those people that likes cats very much but are allergic to them, are you?
Well, I mean, while I'm asthmatic, I don't really know if I don't think I have a very negative reaction to cats whenever I'm around them.
Okay, I can understand that. Your body doesn't know. I guess one day you'll know. Let's see. Here's another question. What is the most thing that you hate?
Most thing that I hate, it's I don't really know. As a matter of fact, I mean, I try to I try to see the good the good the good things in everything.
I can understand that. All right, I'll ask him some bonus questions. Here's a bonus question. What do you think of your peers?
They are fun to be around with. They make me make me feel natural. They make me feel they make me feel they make me feel like I have a they make me feel like as if I have a place where I belong.
They make you feel like you matter.
Yeah.
And that's excellent to hear. This is how I usually treat my guests. I treat them like they matter. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's never nothing wrong with being honest to another individual, even if you don't know them.
Agreed.
Here's a question that I literally took out of the internet. Is that if you would have chosen a superpower, what would it be? You could choose the maximum of 3 capacities.
3 capacities. I would probably I would go with fire powers and also flight powers and ground powers as well.
I don't know what ground powers are.
Like being able to earthquakes or stuff like that.
So like an earthbender.
Yeah.
I understand that. Well, let's see. I'm guessing I could ask one more bonus question. What do you think of the people that responded to Sonic93?
Well, they were doing everything they can to. I can tell that a lot of them were trying to do everything they can to help her see the error of her ways and try to help her say that her overly obsession with silver is not healthy, especially if it's going to make her lash out at anybody who dares to say something negative about him. But since she's not willing to listen, I can't really blame them not finding feeling as if that I can't really blame them feeling that she is a lost cause.
Always hope for her to improve.
Yeah. Nevertheless,
change will happen.
I can only hope that she will change.
It's going to happen. She might as well change now, since it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So until the time comes, we will be ready. So
of course.
That is all the questions that I have. So let me ask you, how are you feeling now?
Feeling so much, so much at peace and relieved. Even though I know I've been stuttering a lot throughout the interview.
Don't worry about that. I usually do the best of I can to cut out all of the stuttering, even though that I get to work on all 3 of yours interviews. So
they will be very interesting to see.
True. Usually my videos are not very well. I'm guessing that the video production quality is not as good as the rest of the people, but I tried my best to entertain people. So, what are your final thoughts?
Well, this has been a very interesting interview, and I really, I felt as if we've gotten to know each other pretty well, and I got to tell you a bit about myself, so so you know what kind of person I am, and what makes me tick.
I can already tell by the tone of your voice, the way how you speak, the way how you act. It pretty much takes me a paragraph to kind of identify as a person if I was willing to focus very intensely. But of course, I try my best to try to rate people, so I won't try to cause any harm in any way impossible.
Sounds good.
So, do you have any final words?
Well, I'm just really excited to say how the end result of the video, and I just feel happy that I managed to let out a lot of what I felt about about the whole drama with Sonic93.
Of course. You wanted to share your story, and of course, you came to me for that.
Yeah, it was. It was just funny how it came into fruition, thanks to a comment someone left on your interview on your interview with Jane. I took note of the comments, asking if you were you will be able to interview me and Minnie, and I just thought to myself, it sounds like a good idea, and I thought of talking to you about it.
Well, I'm very glad that you chose me. I hope everyone has enjoyed the video. I would like to thank Dracocharizard for being in this interview with me, and I hope he is doing for the best for the future. So for that being said, I hope everyone has a great and fantastic day. Please, keep on shining.